I thought your guys' cameras are awesome. Just so you know, because when you guys did the taping last time, and every time you guys were on, it looks so clear.
Thank you.
Like it's
Good morning. Welcome to the St. Johns County show. I'm going to have to rewind and just look at my face coming into the show here today.
Hey, you're on.
Good to see you here this morning. Glad you're here with us on the St. Johns County show that's on in the morning. St. Augustine's favorite show, where we pretty much just make fun of the news, Troy. For the most part, we're just here to make fun of the news.
Oh, no, we're serious journalists.
Are we serious journalists?
Serious journalists.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why my job as a serious journalist is to tell you it's weekend eve. It is Thursday.
It is Thursday. You've done a great job in sniffing that out,
I'm
Troy.
done.
We're very proud of you.
Yeah. I'll be back for the Stoidum stat.
Yeah, all right. That's 2 jobs. You got the easy part here, man. Got to tell you that the morning show is sponsored by our friends at Old City Homes. Jerry at Old City Homes has a few remaining affordable, brand new 2-bedroom, 2-bath houses starting at $165. Call Jerry 904-466-9505. It is Thursday, man, and we got a lot to get to here today. I want to start with the question of the day, though, of course.
Question of the day.
People watching online, you can play here as well. We love to see your comments. Troy especially is obsessed with comments.
Doesn't make me a bad person.
It doesn't make you a bad
No,
person.
I
I
feel
didn't say it made you a bad person.
I feel like you're judging a little.
I'm judging you on the hat. I only
judgy.
judge you on the hat.
Little judgy.
This is I won't even speak of what I think of this hat, Troy. Just the fact that it's making me allergic with all the dog hair.
Oh,
I mean, I'll be honest.
Is that dog hair?
There's a little bit on there, I
Okay.
think.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
I can recognize it because I myself
have
am
to put
plagued
the-
with dog hair.
I'm gonna have to put the lint brush on.
That's it.
I agree with you. It's way more dog hair.
Kind of looks like you skinned a dog to make that hat.
It's what a German Shepherd does.
Yeah, I know. I know, man. I've got a little husky, and she's very, very similar.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the question of the day? 'Cause
question
I
of the
studied
day
all
has
night.
to do with animals,
Oh,
kind of,
okay.
sort of.
Okay.
If you were in the circus,
Mm-hmm.
would you rather be the person with their head inside the lion's mouth or getting shot out of a cannon?
Wow. See, at the circus, I always consider myself the ringleader.
Oh,
like
well,
the guy who's doing this and this and and
that's the
with the-
easy job.
But he's got the
You
hat.
give yourself the easy job
He's
with the
got
hat. Yeah.
He's got the hat.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm either that or the clown. These 2 jobs are not jobs that I would think
These are
would
the 2
fit
jobs at the
me.
circus I never wanted, to
would
be
fit
honest
me.
with you.
And I don't think I would mind either one. I would say I'd probably rather be shot out of a cannon.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think-
with you on that. I'm
yeah,
not putting
'cause-
my head in the damn lion's mouth.
I
Forget
like
about it.
roller coasters. I think that would be a fun ride.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Until
I
things,
could see it being a whole lot of fun, except,
until things go wrong.
yeah.
It's pretty much the same with the lion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I just feel like there's a better chance of things going wrong with the lion.
Yeah,
Because I don't think you're actually getting shot out of the cannon
kind
with
of more of a-
gunpowder and...
It's more of a catapult, I think. is
Right,
what
I
it is.
think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not
But
putting
my
my head
luck,
in a
I'd
lion's
miss the
mouth,
net.
man.
I missed the net.
Yeah.
They'd overshoot me.
But you just
Yeah.
break a few bones, right?
Yeah.
You're okay.
I'd Evil Knievel it completely. But sorry, 70s reference.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good way to go. Either
Yeah.
way wouldn't be a good way to go, to
No,
be honest with
yeah.
you. I guess I'm just not joining the circus, period, Troy.
No, I mean,
Because they would stick
if
me
you
with
go
one of
that
these
way
jobs.
in this day and age, you're instantly trending on YouTube. Lion bites off your
guess.
head, you're trending.
Yeah,
Overshoot-
somebody's got a video
Overshoot
of
the
it.
net, you're trending.
But you don't want to be trending.
I don't want to be
That's
trending
not what you
there.
want to be trending for.
No, I'll keep the top
Getting
hat.
your head bit off.
I'll keep the top hat and introduce you getting your head bit off. So which one are you? You're the cannon.
I'm the
also?
cannon all the way,
Cannon
man.
also?
I'm
Okay,
cannon
all
all the way.
right.
Yeah, for sure. But we love to hear you guys, or if you have a different role that you'd like to be in the circus, that's fine too. Let me see. Troy, we did something really, really cool yesterday. I don't know if you were able to catch any of the special presentation with the First Responder Project. Hello.
I don't.
I don't know
The
if
First
you-
Responder Project. I was listening.
It was a really, really cool thing, man. And it was so interesting because we had first responders. We were talking to first responders all day long and really talking about mental health and what they go through. And the conversations you will hear on yesterday's show, and I really encourage people to go back and watch that. It's unlike anything, even if you have friends in the first responder business, they've never opened up this much to you. I mean, I heard things that I just couldn't believe about what these men and women go through. They talked to everyone from they had Chief Avalies here, they had Chief Hardwick, and then people like call dispatchers who just talk people through some of the most insane scenarios every single day, and they're human. They take that stuff home.
Yeah,
you know.
I can tell you, I couldn't do that job. I mean, I was with first responders. I mean, and it still sticks with me today. And I don't know if you remember the 2 girls that got run over on the beach. At Anastasia.
Yeah.
I was like the 4th person there.
Oh wow.
And I mean, those images stayed with me. I mean, and that's
one day.
Yeah, that's been 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and that was one experience, and these people are piling on multiple experiences like this every day.
And they're piling on it, and those, I mean, the words that were, because the girls were conscious at the time when we got there, at least one of them was, and the words that were saying and stuff like that, it was just, I mean, I appreciate them so much.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I have I mean, I always have, obviously, as most of us have, but man, after listening to this show, I just have a whole new appreciation for these folks and what they go through, and really, just a whole lot of people opened up about their experiences in just ways that most people have never ever heard before. So
very grateful for what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
and it was a good show, so I would encourage people to go back and watch. We had 2 shows. We had one in the morning and one in the evening last night, but I would encourage folks to go and watch those, check those out, and really see what some of these folks actually go through, and some of the resources out there as well. If you're a first responder, I'd encourage you to go back and check it out, and also look into the First Responder Project, because they have just a ton of resources for people's mental health all across those professions. So it was really cool, and I was proud to be a part of it, man. And I told them anytime that they need anything from me, just let me know. All right, we've got a special guest here today, everybody, and
it's not Bob Ross.
It's not. Well, Bob Ross is a special guest. We forgot to mention Bob Ross. Hello, Bob. Oh, he didn't say anything back. Okay, wonderful. Worst guest ever.
You can have his raccoon.
All right.
So you don't feel lonesome.
Well, I didn't feel lonesome, and now I kind of feel like I should have felt lonesome. So now I kind of feel a little lonesem.
Yeah. I'm here for you.
You know who else?
We do have a special guest, though.
You know who else is here for me and for a whole lot of other people in our community? Kathleen Miner with Hopeful Handbags. Kathleen, how are you this morning?
I am awesome. Thanks for having me. How are you guys? I've been hearing your stories. You're doing quite fine this morning. You're rocking it this morning.
We're doing all right. We're having fun.
Well, we start off so good when Dan goes, "Oh, we're on."
Yeah, I know. It's a good way to start. Well, Dan got jolted out of bed too. We're all experiencing this because Dan's like, man, it was like 7 o'clock, and my wife ran in and rushed in and woke me up and said, "Are you doing the show today?" So we're all
I don't wake up till 7:45.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'd have been upset. That's super early.
But what a great way to start your day, though, being able to come together and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the best.
I mean, how many people start their day laughing?
Yeah, no,
hopefully a lot of people watching.
Right, that's the whole point of the show. That's the whole point. Tell your friends.
Everybody watching gets
Tell your
to
friends.
do that. Yeah, definitely. But I got to tell you, Kathleen, we're here to talk about a pretty serious subject with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic violence, obviously, is you specialize in resources for people who are going through really huge, really life-changing challenges relating to domestic violence. So tell me a little bit, first, for people who are watching, they might just be seeing you for the first time. Tell me who you are and what you do with Hopeful Handbags.
Okay. So my name is Kathleen Miner. I'm the founder and president of Hopeful Handbags. And what Hopeful Handbags does is the base of what we do is we take once loved handbags, we fill them with necessities, things to make women feel amazing. We donate these to women getting back on their feet from domestic violence. Also men, because it does happen to men as well. Statistically, it's women. However, so yes, we do put aside backpacks. We've got things that we donate to them as well. So that's to raise hope. But really what this does is to open the conversation. It opens the conversation so that people that are still in abusive situations feel safe, confident, and free to reach out for help.
Because that's a tough conversation for people to have. I mean, that first
it really
step.
is. The first step is tough. And there's a lot of things around that. And that is because a lot of people that are in these situations, they feel that it's their fault. So they've been led to believe that it's their fault.
Yeah.
And even if somewhere behind there, they've got this little inkling of it, it keeps getting beaten down by, but it's your fault, but it's your fault, but it's your fault. And some of them, whether it happened in this relationship that they're in or they grew up that way, that's their threshold of, well, it wasn't as bad for my mom or my dad or my sister or my aunt or grandmother or whoever. And so
Yeah.
that's their threshold. So they just feel like this is probably as good as it's going to get. But then you have the ones that are in there and they start to hear us. And that's what we're here for, is to spread awareness, because that's when people start to feel comfortable to reach out.
Sure. Sure.
And just to even ask questions. So that's like a huge first step. Okay, this is
Yeah.
happening, and being reassured that this is not your fault.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
this there
I-
is help.
So it's the way I understand it. It usually takes about 5 or 6, maybe 7 or 8 times before the woman actually
Mhm.
or the person actually will leave the situation. Is
For
that
good.
accurate? I mean, is that
Yeah, that's what they say statistically. But I feel like sometimes that happens because they don't have the support behind them.
Mhm.
Some of it is
Mm.
emotional. There's an emotional attachment too. So there are some survivors that are in these situations that they go to leave, and you're thinking, gosh, why wouldn't they leave? Because they're being literally and figuratively beaten down, right? But there's something about that relationship that they did like, because you have to remember that abusers also are really good at what they do.
Mhm.
So they also keep that connection of being nice all the time. They're not mean all the time.
yeah.
You
right.
know, there's also that sweet part.
Yeah,
because-
I think every person I've ever dealt with this situation, but I really love him.
Right.
Right.
I
And
really
these
love
are
him.
often
you don't
Right.
know him. You know those
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of conversations.
And these are often the women I know who have been through that. They're people who try to see the good in people.
Right.
They want to
And they
see
wanna
the good
help
in this
them.
person.
They
wanna
wanna be
help
a
that person.
savior.
Yes. Yeah.
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 And the thing that we like to say about that is you can only change yourself. All of us are responsible for ourselves. We cannot change other people. We can be there for them. And this is kind of a shout out too to the abusers. I mean, reach out for help if you know that you're doing this. Excuse me. Sometimes it's focused around addiction, things like that too. And that's not an excuse at all. But we also want to let the survivors, the people that are in these situations, know that they are worth way more than the way that they're being treated.
Yeah.
And it's limitless. Like, your life is absolutely limitless, and you're in charge of it. And I realize sometimes they don't feel that way because they're being controlled. Sometimes it's not all physical. And
Right.
that's
A lot
kind
of it
the-
is mental,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And that's kind of the tricky part, because you can't see it.
Yeah.
And people can't see it. So my suggestion to those who have that intuition in their guts telling them that something's not right in somebody's situation that's really close to them is to tell them, you know what, I just want you to know, I feel like there might be something going on. I'm here for you. Know that you can reach out. There will absolutely be no judgment. And that's a key too, is never judge anybody's situation, no matter what they're going through, because you just have no idea. And if you're as a friend, and then when they open up and start talking to you as a friend, you can also tell them, you know, there are these resources out there,
Right.
and they're here for free. And so even why I started Hopeful Handbags was because my grandmother was a survivor of domestic violence for years and years and years. My mom grew up in a family that everybody was abused. And my parents had me when I was very young, and we lived across the street. And so I knew this was going on. And my mom would go, you know, diffuse the situation. We'd end
Wow,
up in
you
the
ki-
ER.
so you kind of grew up.
Yeah,
with it
I knew what
firsthand.
this
I mean,
is.
You saw it from a
yeah.
young age.
And
Yeah.
I knew that it wasn't normal because I didn't grow up that way across the street.
Mhm.
And every time we bring my grandmother to the emergency room, in the back of my head, I remember sitting in the back seat at 5 and thinking, why does she keep going back? I mean, this is obviously, we have broken bones, we have concussions, there's things going
Yeah,
on here.
Yeah.
And so I always wondered if she knew that there was help, if there was help for free, because finances is always an issue. Typically, I mean, 99% of the time.
Yeah.
But if she knew that there was help for free, would she have reached out? And so that's why awareness is so important for everybody that's listening, to know that if you're in a situation like that, just make that first call, because you can call Hopeful Handbags, and I can say the number. We're 904-383-7158. And then you have the Betty Griffin Center, and they're a 24-hour hotline.
Yeah.
And that's 904-824-1555. And when you call a
Okay,
hotline,
Can you, because people
I
weren't,
talk
weren't
fast.
really ready for the phone number.
yeah.
I need you to give out both phone numbers again.
Yes,
at,
I'll
a,
slow
at,
down.
at a slow.
And we can
slower
also,
pace.
I'll put this in the comments too when
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, that'd
I'll
be good.
definitely
There
do
you
that, because
go.
I'm not a quick
That works.
writer. Hopeful Handbags is 904-383-7158. And Betty Griffin is 904-824-1555. And the reason why I wanted to bring up these numbers is because when you call, the police aren't coming out to your house. They're not coming, you know, they're there to help, even if it's to come up with a safety plan, or even if you just need to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
because that's the first step. they say that this stuff starts at home. The change starts at home. And however, while I agree with that, I think it starts in the communities. And I feel that way because sometimes at home, they don't have the support and the resources or the knowledge to start
Yeah.
making that change.
Sure.
So if we as a community can come together and realize that this is not okay and that it's serious, and then we start spreading awareness about it, people are going to feel more comfortable to reach out. And that's
sure.
another reason why I thought it was so important that we talk about this even now, is because those of you that are on social media or in the local news, which is this amazing 904 Now that we have here in St. Johns County, realize that more and more people are coming out.
Yeah, and I'm even seeing that in the last couple of weeks. I've
Absolutely.
seen, and I won't put any names out there. That's you
Right.
know, but I've seen that in the last couple of weeks, and I gotta say, when people make that first step, one of the I imagine probably the hardest step in the entire process, when they make that first step, when they take that and say, okay, I'm going to admit this is a problem, and I'm going to go figure out what to do.
Right.
They call you guys, or they call Betty Griffin House. Then what? Because now they're in this position where they may still be at the home,
Right.
nowhere to really go, no finances to really get out of the house and start renting a new place like that.
Absolutely.
So what happens next?
So then we talk through, because every situation's unique, right? Do
Mhm.
you have friends and family you can stay with? Of course, there's the shelter they can stay at. So number one is safety. So that's what our number one concern is. Whether they call myself or they call and speak to an advocate at a shelter, is safety. So if they feel safe and they can go stay with a friend or family, or they can go stay at the shelter. Another thing is restraining orders. I mean, we could really get really deep into this, but that is something that we always encourage, because you just don't know. You just don't know. Because sometimes, it's the power and control, it's the verbal and emotional abuse that sometimes leads to physical, right? So, and that's another reason why this is so important to get out, because there are people actually trapped in their own homes, right? They may
Yeah.
not being physically beaten and you can't see it.
Yeah.
They're in somebody else is totally controlling their life.
Yeah. And if the children factor is another factor
yeah.
that's huge, that adds to it, and it complicates so much, and that's like you said, restraining order. I've had many friends go through it. The restraining order is very, very important.
It is. At least you have some level of protection,
Yeah.
because the community and the law, I mean, they want to protect everybody,
Yeah.
and it's not easy because we have a lot of people.
Yeah. And they can't be everywhere. They can't,
can't.
unfortunately, sit outside your house 24/7 with a
Right.
squad car. Just you know.
Right. And that's why the community awareness is so, so important. And the children are living in this too. And that's why my mom is like my right-hand lady when it comes to Hopeful Handbags, because she knows what it feels like to be a kid growing up in that.
She witnessed
Yeah.
it.
And it's because, whether they're physically abused or whether it's a psychological abuse, they're being weaved into that. And then that's how sometimes those patterns start, right? When they get older. And we want to stop that. So part of what we do as well is prevention. And by prevention, I mean showing signs or telling people about signs, what to look for in a relationship if you're in one at the beginning, because teen dating violence, that's huge. And I had someone say to me the other day, well, who's vulnerable for that? Well, anybody is. Well,
I guess
but
so. Yeah.
because then they say, well, but they have a nice family, right? Everybody's happy. The parents are good. Everybody's happy. Yeah, but there's still those teens and or kids can still be vulnerable, because think about it this way. As teenagers, as a parent, I have 4, oldest 28, youngest is 15. I've had to say no, right? No.
I would think so.
No,
yeah.
no. And sometimes to some kids you have to say no again, right? You can't, I'm sorry, you can't do that. So just as a situation, let's use a boy and a girl, but this happens in same-sex relationships. This happens in all. But you got a girl who's mad at her parents because they won't let her do something. But then she has this boyfriend who's like, you don't need them anyway. Because this is real stuff that happens.
Oh yeah.
You don't need
Oh,
them
yeah.
anyway. Let's go do that. Then the isolation starts, because then they start isolating them as well from their friends and then their families. And then it's just that person. And then we've seen this time and time again, verbal abuse starts, right? They're telling them. So then they start to beat down their worthiness. So you can see how even somebody that comes from an amazing place this can still happen. And
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
why prevention and getting it
And
out
it-
there.
and to get to that part of the process doesn't take that long.
No.
Right? I mean, to get
No,
to
not
where
at
we were
all.
just talking about.
Especially in the teenage brain.
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
they're not all quite
no.
developed yet
And
anyway.
they have this grand idea of, I'm going to run off with the love of my life, and it's going to
Exactly.
be, you know. But
right.
that starts to break down, and you might not even notice that along the way that your dream is kind of breaking down and it's turning into a bad situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and there's many kinds of abuse. Like I said, it's not just
Yeah.
physical. And I've been doing short videos on that, just like 3-minute videos, just to let people know what it's about, so that you understand it when you're talking to somebody that might have this going on. You know, you may not think it's a form of abuse, but basically, like I said, when you're trapped in your own home, but we
Yeah.
want everybody to know they're worth like they're not worth. Nobody's worth being treated badly. And it's kind of like human kindness, right?
Mhm.
Comes back to the basic: be nice to others.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
be
a
nice
golden.
to
It's
others.
always the golden rule. Everything reverts back to the golden rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
every religion has some form of golden rule in it, and that's the way people got to live their
That's
life.
right.
You know, doing
Yeah.
doing to others is
As you would
is,
have do unto you.
Yeah, and that premise is in every religious base,
Yeah.
and it should
And
be in
for a
everybody's
reason.
life.
Absolutely,
So it should
absolutely.
be in everybody's life. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but it's in every single one of those for a reason.
That's a moral
Yeah.
that everyone should have. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so just even here in St. Johns County and surrounding areas and all over the world, this stuff's happening every day.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter how much money you do or do not make. It does not matter how you grew up. This stuff is happening. So we just want to put that message out there and let people know that there is help and support. You just reach out. And if you don't want to reach out to us first, then call and talk to a trusted family friend. And that's another reason why, right? If you're the trusted family friend and you
Yeah.
need to reach out and they get us connected, let's do that. We
Yeah.
really want to bring an end to this. And this is something that we really can bring an end to.
and it's very important what you just said right there, because a lot of times it's the family friend
Mhm.
that finds the resource, because the fear of the victim
Mhm.
is too afraid to even take that next step,
Absolutely.
or shamed.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
the friendly friend has to hold some of that shame and get them to that next step.
Yeah, they have to take it on and say, okay, then let me guide you. And then what we
Mhm.
do, so I've had many obviously friends and family members call me, and then by them trusting me, that family and friend,
Mhm.
then when they pass on my number, those people call.
Mhm.
And that's kind of why that's why the base of Hopeful Handbags is raising hope and trust and realizing that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And we can all help. So if we could all just spread that word, and I will put the phone numbers in the comments.
Cool. Yeah, and tell people again, please, before we go, what all the ways to contact you guys are, because I'm sure there's more than just phone number. You guys have websites, Facebook.
Oh, yes,
all that
absolutely.
Stuff, right?
We have hopefulhandbags.org, and that's hopeful with 2 L's at the end, like full of hope,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So hopefulhandbags.org. And then we have, obviously, we're on Facebook. It's Hopeful Handbags. We have a local group, actually, and that's where we post like upcoming things that are going on, or
Cool.
businesses, because we're always looking for drop-off locations, especially in the Jacksonville area right now and Flagler County. We've got some amazing businesses that have partnered with us in St. Johns County. That's where you can bring your goods, meaning your Once Loved handbags and your fill and things like that. But we do have, can I mention a few events we have coming up?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we have the Sip and Shop, which is at Spice and Tea Exchange. And those of you that live in St. Augustine know how awesome the Spice and Tea Exchange is, right?
Colleen, love her.
It's awesome.
Love her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we have 2 locations here. I'm talking as if it's mine, but it's
Mhm.
not. But I love it. So there's 2 locations here. One's at the Old Jail and one's on Hippolyta Street. So our event's going to be at the Old Jail location, and it's going to be on
Okay.
November 15th. And it's a holiday kickoff. It's like a holiday celebration.
Cool.
And with a donation of $25, you get this amazing gift box that Spice and Tea Exchange is donating the goods for it. And it's,
I don't even
well,
know what's in it. I already
they-
know it's worth it.
right? It is
Coming from
definitely
you,
worth
it's
it.
like, yeah.
We also have, we're going to have live music. We have raffles every 30 minutes. And we have a photo booth. I mean, honestly, it's going to be how can I forget this? So Colleen, who's the one that runs those and owns those, she is going to be making drinks like mimosas and all these holiday different kinds of drinks.
Okay.
So if you're up for that, you can 10 in the morning is the first time you can start there. It's from 10 to 6.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. So you can go to our website actually and purchase your tickets for that. And if you
Okay.
so we have that coming up. Also, the A1A 72-mile garage sale. Have you guys ever taken part in that?
I have not, but I see it every year.
Every year. So you guys should. So what we're doing is we have some things that have been donated, clothes and things like that people have given to us to sell, so we can use it as a fundraiser. So what we've done is we've gone through all the clothes, called the shelters, anything that they need, we've brought to them, and then everything that's left over, we are going to sell at the garage sale on November 21st. And
Cool.
so basically, you just go up and down A1A. I mean, it's 72 miles, so it's just all over there. And then we just have one more thing, and I know I'm talking fast, but you can always go to our website. So the Wild Heart Boutique, I don't know if you guys have been in there. They do have women's clothes. I don't think they have any men's clothes, but it's pretty cool. It's all comfortable. They're actually right around the corner from you, literally around the corner from you on King Street, right by the art gallery.
Okay.
Right beside Crave.
All right.
So anyway, they are having a stocking stuffer event every Sunday where they have this cool big stocking that has these glittery things on it. And when you purchase your stocking, all those proceeds go to us. But then they also have amazing stocking stuffers that you can buy. And it is the most unique shop. So I would definitely say take a run in there. And Tana and Susan, who own it, like you guys, this would be a fun show.
Well, maybe we'll have to
because
get with them and
those two
see.
ladies are so fun. So fun. But anyway, so that's what we have going on. And just contact us if you have any questions about domestic violence or any other resources. Because if we don't have the resources within us, which we have a ton of workshops, we have a ton of things that go on, then we will be able to contact somebody that does.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kathleen, not only
Thanks for
for
having
coming
me.
in today, but for all the great stuff you're doing around the community. I mean, it's just amazing, and I love talking to people like you who are really, really working, not just saying they're working, really working
You're
to help
busy.
people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for all you guys
Thank
do
you.
to get this all out to everybody and running around town all the time trying to let us know what's going on. Because that's how we know what's
but
going
it's
on.
fun.
That's
yeah.
Pete. I just show up.
Yeah,
saw-
you just,
you-
I do see Pete a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just Pete. I'm just a sidekick. I really don't do anything.
Joy loves that sidekick
Yeah.
role.
It's
Um,
no responsibility.
But hey, before we get out of here, we do have a Stoidum stat, I think.
We have a
And
Stoidum
then,
stat.
But let me tell people first, the show, of course, sponsored by our friends at Fidus Roofing, 904-355-ROOF, over 15 years experience, some of the best in the business. You can really count on them doing the right job first
All
for
right.
you at Fidus Roofing.
My favorite Stoidum stat of the year.
Yes.
It's Bob Ross's birthday.
Bob Ross is your guy.
Bob Ross's birthday.
All
Bob
right.
Ross. Unfortunately, Bob Ross. I didn't realize how young Bob Ross was when he passed away. He was 52 years old.
Wow.
You know, it just seems like he's lived on forever.
Yeah.
And he's actually, I think, more popular now
Than he ever was,
than he
I
ever
think.
was
Yeah.
when he was alive. Because
Yeah.
PBS.
I don't think he had one of these toys when he was
no,
alive.
I don't think they had any of these toys.
Okay.
And
That's a good point.
Bob Ross is the man still. Happy
Hey.
little clouds today.
Happy little clouds.
When you look up, think of Bob Ross and happy little clouds.
What a see, you talk about positive people. What a positive show to
Oh,
watch.
it's so much fun.
Watch some Bob Ross after
Watch
this
some
show,
Bob
everybody.
Ross. Yeah.
All right, with that Stoidum stat, I guess it's time to tell everybody. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you later at 5:00. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.